and I want to point out, as speakers, we always hope to actually have an influence on people. In only his third speech, he has an influence on me that continues to this day. He gave a speech on online courses and the unbelievable wealth of online courses we have, both on a paid basis and free. Now, I knew about this, but he went into such detail and he was so enthusiastic. He inspired me to dive back into something I'd abandoned for many years, Udemy courses on Microsoft Excel and other related courses, and I have since that speech completed 4 courses on Udemy on various Excel skills to upgrade my skills and make sure that they're all current. And I attribute that directly to Matthew Boyce and the speech that he gave us for inspiring me to do that. So you've had a positive impact on my life in your very brief tenure as an amped Toastmaster. Speaking today on the topic of going against the tide, please join me in welcoming Matthew Boyce.
So I have actually topic that I've been researching on my own for some time. It's actually about stress and what we can do to deal with stress and its effects on our health. So it turns out that chronic stress can have a really significant impact on our health. And some of the new research is surprising as far as what it can do. For example, now this is the chronic stress where you take it home, you think about it at night. This could be maybe a bad work environment, bad relationship, family issues, health issues. This is chronic, ongoing stress. And what it does when you're stressed, you have actually a release of adrenaline and glucocorticoids. These stress hormones flood your system. That's why I titled my speech Going Against the Tide. This is about busting those stress hormones, going against that tide of stress hormones when necessary. So when those hormones are released, your blood pressure shoots up, your heart rate shoots up, and all the unnecessary stuff in your body kind of shuts down. So cellular repair, digestion, your reproductive system, all that stuff just kind of gets put to the side. And over the long haul, this has some real health implications. First off, you're more likely to develop arterial sclerosis and cardiac issues. You run a higher risk of cardiac death. Actually, there was a study, it's the Whitehall study, very famous study in England of public service workers, and it showed that the greater the stress, the more likely the person actually had a cardiac issue later on in life. So this is really significant and something to worry about now, not later. Some other research by Dr. Sapolsky and Dr. McEwen showed that chronic stress actually kills brain cells. And it kills brain cells in the hippocampus, which is a part of your brain where all the learning and memory takes place. Another body of research showed that actually stress can do something as serious as accelerate aging. So at the end of your DNA, there are these caps known as telomeres. The telomeres grow shorter as we age, and our DNA can actually start to unravel at a cellular level. This is just part of aging, but stress actually accelerates that process. So this is a really important topic for long-term health. So what are some things you can do to combat stress and to actually bring those stress hormones down in your body? What are some ideas, or what are some things you might think of yourselves intuitively?
Meditation.
I'm sorry?
Oh, sorry. Meditation.
Meditation. Actually, yes. Dr. Sapolsky in his book, Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers, cites meditation as being clinically proven to reduce stress hormones. And when he says meditation, he's not talking about transcendental meditation or anything like that. This is really just calm breathing, calming your mind for 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes. That will clinically reduce. There's clinical research that shows this will reduce the hormone levels related to stress. Anything else? What else
Exercise.
I was just gonna say
Yeah.
physical activity.
Yes, physical activity. And again, research shows you don't have to do high-intensity interval training. You don't have to join a cult like CrossFit. You can just walk. You can ride a stationary bike at home. Sorry if you're a CrossFit. Sorry. But you just need to get the heart rate up a bit for sustained 10 minutes, and you are reducing those stress hormones. Another body of research showed that social support is huge for reducing stress hormones. And actually, with the study on telomeres, this was a study done by Dr. Eppel and Dr. Blackburn. They actually wrote a book about telomeres. They found that you can actually reduce, or not just reduce that shortening or slow it down, but you can actually reverse that shortening of the telomere in some cases. And there is an enzyme called telomerase that actually reduces that shortening, or actually lengthens that telomere, which is really interesting. They worked with women who had children with very special needs. This is a very stressed group of people, and she found, or the two researchers found, that when these people got together on a regular basis with a support group, they were actually able to reverse some of that shortening with the telomere. So again, that social support is very important. Now, I did some other research just in how we can reduce stress in our work lives, and I'll share some in a handout today. These are mostly from Harvard Business Review articles, but one thing the authors in one of the articles said, in the article it's actually, are you working too hard? He writes, if you've been at the problem for 90 to 120 minutes, probably you've reached the limits of whatever you're doing. You're actually pushing the boundary a bit, because we're all designed to stay on task for about 90 to 120 minutes before we need some kind of break. He argues it's a great time to take a break, relax, and then come back with kind of a fresh mind. That will also help with reducing stress hormones that build up over the day. And one other bit of advice, the author of 9 Ways to Defeat Stress argues that you need to be very kind to yourself, cut yourself slack, have good self-talk, be okay with making mistakes, and also try to make as much routine as possible. So try to take decision-making out of the process in your workday. He gives a great example of President Barack Obama always wore gray or blue suits. His argument was, it's one less decision I have to make. So if you make something routine, you actually take away that decision aspect of it, which is kind of stressful. So I hope that my tips are helpful, and I hope that you have a stress-free day. Thank you very much. I've really enjoyed being part of this organization. Thanks.